You know that feeling when you watch a movie and something just doesn't sit right? That's how I felt watching Todd Phillips' Joker in 2019. As a psychiatrist, I couldn't help but notice how the film got mental health all wrong. And with the sequel coming out in the fall, 5 years to the day after the original, well, we are about to voyage into the madness that is Gotham City once again. Joker took the world by storm, earning praise and sparking debate. But beneath this gritty style lies an extremely troubling portrayal of mental illness. The film paints a dangerous picture, linking mental health issues with violence. This isn't just inaccurate, it's harmful. And who am I to break down this movie? My name is Dr. Sulman Aziz Mirza, triple board certified in adult psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, and addiction medicine. And I vividly remember being a 6-year-old boy shocked in the theater when Jack Nicholson's Joker kills a mobster by throwing a quill in his neck and uttering, "The pen is truly mightier than the sword." Yep, totally over it by now. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive into the heart of the matter. Mental illness stereotypes in Joker. The film takes on Arthur Fleck's troubling journey, but how much of it reflects reality? Joker paints a picture of mental illness that's both inaccurate and dangerous. As Arthur's mental state worsens, especially when he loses access to his medication, he becomes increasingly violent. This portrayal suggests a direct link between mental health issues and violent behavior. But is this connection real? The facts tell a different story. Dr. Ziv Cohen, an expert in the field, states research clearly indicates that individuals with mental illness are no more violent than the population as a whole. In fact, persons with mental illness are more likely to be victims of crimes than to commit them. This insight challenges the film's core narrative. Let's look at some numbers. The US Department of Health and Human Services reports that only 3 to 5% of violent acts can be linked to people with serious mental illnesses. This small percentage contradicts the idea that mental illness leads to violence. Joker's portrayal goes beyond just being inaccurate. It can have real-world effects on how people view mental health. A study in JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association, found that watching Joker increased negative views of mental illness among viewers. The average score of prejudice towards people with mental illness rose from 2.99 before the film to 3.20 afterwards. These stereotypes can make life harder for people dealing with mental health issues. They might face unfair judgment or discrimination. Some may even avoid seeking help due to fear of being labeled as dangerous. The film's treatment of Arthur's character is particularly problematic. William Leifer points out people who are as empathetic and kind as Arthur Fleck is portrayed to be do not tend to become serial killers, and certainly not overnight. This rapid transformation from a sympathetic character to a violent criminal misrepresents the nature of true mental illness. Joker isn't alone in spreading these harmful ideas. Research shows a trend in films linking mental health conditions to violence. Recent analyses found that 72.3% of characters with mental health conditions were shown as violent. This trend in media strengthens the false belief that mental illness and aggression go hand in hand. By reinforcing these stereotypes, Joker and similar portrayals can shape public opinion in harmful ways. They can lead to fear and misunderstanding, making it harder for people with mental health issues to find acceptance and support in society. Now that we've seen how Joker reinforces harmful stereotypes about mental illness, let's take a closer look at another troubling aspect of the film, its portrayal of violence. How does the movie present Arthur's violent actions, and what message does this send to viewers? In Joker, we see violence presented as the solution to Arthur's problems. As his life spirals out of control, his violent outbursts are shown as cathartic and even empowering. This portrayal suggests that violence can be a valid response to societal neglect and personal struggles. But is this a responsible or accurate message? The glorification of violence in Joker goes beyond just inaccuracy. It presents a potentially harmful message about how to deal with frustration and societal issues. By showing Arthur's violent actions as empowering, the film suggests that violence can be a valid way to address personal and social problems. This portrayal ignores healthier coping mechanisms and more constructive ways to address societal issues. The psychological impact of presenting violence as a solution can be significant. It may reinforce the idea that violent outbursts are an acceptable way to express anger or frustration. This message is particularly concerning given the film's popularity and cultural impact. It risks normalizing violent behavior as a response to personal struggles or societal injustice. The film's portrayal of violence as cathartic and empowering is particularly problematic when combined with this inaccurate description of mental illness. As Dr. Alexandra Zuck notes, Joker spins mental illness in an inaccurate light. It perpetuates myths that could have significant social implications. By linking mental health struggles with violent tendencies, the film risks deepening stigma and misunderstanding in society. We've seen how Joker misrepresents mental illness and glorifies violence. But there's another aspect that makes this film particularly troubling: its ability to make us sympathize with a violent character. How does Joker turn a murderous villain into someone we might root for? The film's portrayal of Arthur Fleck is designed to evoke empathy. We see him struggle with mental health issues, face societal rejection, and endure a traumatic upbringing. These elements paint Arthur as a victim, encouraging viewers to understand and even relate to his pain. This approach blurs the line between villain and anti-hero, creating a complex emotional response in the audience. However, this sympathy for Arthur comes at a cost. By humanizing a character who becomes increasingly violent, the film risks normalizing or even justifying harmful behavior. It's a delicate balance that Joker fails to strike, potentially leading viewers to idolize a dangerous individual. This idolization is particularly concerning when we consider the incel hero phenomenon. Some viewers have embraced the Joker as a symbol of their own frustrations with society. This interpretation can be dangerous, as it may encourage vulnerable individuals to identify with and emulate a violent character. The movie's treatment of Arthur's laugh as a symptom of pseudobulbar affect is another example of its complex portrayal. While this detail adds realism to the character, it also risks trivializing the experiences of people who actually live with this condition. It's a prime example of how the film walks a fine line between representation and exploitation. Joker's approach to creating an empathy for a violent character stands in contrast to more responsible portrayals in other media. Many films and TV shows have successfully depicted complex, flawed characters without glorifying violence or reinforcing stereotypes about mental illness. These portrayals show that it's possible to create compelling stories without resorting to harmful tropes. In the end, Joker's portrayal of Arthur Fleck as a sympathetic psychopath raises important questions about media responsibility. While it's natural to feel empathy for characters who struggle, we must be cautious about how that empathy is directed. When a film encourages us to root for a violent character, it's crucial to step back and consider the broader implications of that message. Movies have power. They can change how we see the world and the people in it. Joker is no exception. Its portrayal of mental illness has left a mark on viewers' minds. A study found that after watching the film, people's negative views of those with mental illness actually increased. Joker missed a chance to show mental health issues in a true light. While it touched on some real problems, like lack of resources for mental health care, it fell short in other ways. When movies constantly show people with mental illness as dangerous, it can create fear and misunderstanding. This fear can lead to real-world discrimination and make it harder for people to seek help when they need it. Filmmakers have a big role to play here. They have the power to shape public opinion, and with that comes responsibility. When creating stories about mental health, they should aim for accuracy and nuance. This doesn't mean every portrayal has to be perfect, but it should avoid harmful stereotypes. The trend of linking mental illness to violence in movies isn't new. Studies show that nearly 3 out of 4 characters with mental health conditions in films are shown as violent. This pattern has stayed consistent over time, suggesting a deep-rooted problem in how movies portray mental health. As viewers, we have a role to play too. It's important to watch movies like Joker with a critical eye. We should question what we see and look for more accurate information about mental health. This kind of media literacy can help us enjoy films while also understanding their limitations and potential impacts. We've seen how Joker shapes perceptions of mental health, but what can we do about it? The film's impact highlights a bigger issue: the need for responsible storytelling in media. Movies and TV shows have the power to shape our views, especially on complex topics like mental health. I had a great discussion with Dr. Jesse Gold, a psychiatrist who helps the media when talking about mental health move towards telling more accurate stories. Check it out via the card above. Accurate portrayals matter. When media gets mental health right, it can reduce stigma and encourage understanding. But harmful stereotypes can do real damage. As viewers, we have a role to play. We need to watch with a critical eye and question what we see on screen. Filmmakers also have a responsibility. They can create compelling stories without relying on harmful tropes. By showing mental health issues accurately and with empathy, they can make a positive impact. So, next time you watch a movie or a show, ask yourself, how is it shaping my views on mental health? Is it helping or hurting our understanding? The power of responsible storytelling is in our hands. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment below if you learned something new, as well as your thoughts on the movie as a whole. Share with family and friends, and until next time, be safe and be well.